Hi guys, this is Astropark. Today I'm gonna show you how to use my breaker block and supply demand order blocks indicator. A lot of people asking about it, and and today I'm trying to do this video. This is my nickname, Astropark. You can follow my info Telegram channel, and of course I suggest you to to join my crypto mentors discord, where you can find a lot of useful content and educational video too. Okay, let's start directly with the indicator and its options. What does it show, what's the meaning of these lines, and so on. So currently, basically at startup, these are the full settings. So it's uh, it's showing demand and supply order blocks. So this red one, for example, is supply zone. This is our demand zone. Here another supply zone, another demand zone, and so on. So red one is a supply, is a seller's zone when you are supposed also to the short, and in green you see the demand zone, so the zones where you are supposed to buy. Of course, not all zones are respected, and depending on the chart you are in, you may like to add some customization. For example, you can customize colors. For example, if you don't like the red and green, you can of course change this colors, the width of the lines, and the another important aspect to customize is the analysis window. So in this case 10, so 10 candles are analyzed in order to find these zones. You may write, for example, 20. You can double this and you will get something very different. So let's wait for recalculate. Okay, so you recalculated, for example. So you see less zones, um, and you can trade sometimes better this way. If you go before on more history, you can see, of course, more zones if they were respected or not in the chart. Okay, something I wanted to make to understand is that if you had a zone in the past, like this, for example, okay, it will be respected also in the future. TradingView does not let me draw too much lines, so when a new zone appears, the previous one is discontinued, but it's still valid. Okay, this is something important to understand. For example, here also this zone was respected in the future. Okay, like this. In this case, here there was no new one. Okay, this is a supply, a seller zone. Okay. Okay, so this is just a few tips. We can customize also how the supply and demand zones are drawn. So for example. Currently what is shown is the high of the low plus the close. Okay, so you know that on I guess you should know that if this is a candle, so let's do it red. Okay, so if this is a red candle, so price went lower during this time frame. This is the beginning of the candle, is just the open price, the low is the close price. This is the lowest point, so the low of the candle. This is the highest point, so this is the high of the candle. So when we check it up the supply zone, the high and the open price is highlighted like this on the demand. Instead you have the close of the red candle and the low. Okay, so when you have this high low, you see the high if you are on supply, the low if you are on demand zone, and that's considering this is unchecked. So you see of each order block also the open or the close. So this is best zone where you can enter for your position. You never want to see a price close below, okay, below this range, because usually it means a rejection, a failure of the zone. Okay, so you need to be sure to have a stop loss set. In this case, it was a perfect entry. Okay, it was some kind of perfect entry. Price went up. Here you have a close higher, but price was rejected immediately. So we can say this was a valid zone. Okay, this is another valid zone. Valid, for example. Again, here it was really touched, but it is a valid zone. Another way to show this zone is to check, of course, this and move this way. What to show about lines? Okay, so let's wait for a draw. Okay, so we don't. The indicator does not highlight the wicks, part, the shadows part of the zones, but the candle bodies. So zones are calculated based on the candle's body. Okay, in this case, for example, you can see that this is a bullish zone. This was a demand. In fact, when price arrived here, went up. For example, probably this is um, for you a better visualization. I mean, the range here is very big. Okay, here the price didn't go higher, for example. Okay, and if you go here, he was respected, again respected. Here the zone was larger. Here again respected. Here somehow respected. I usually set a stop loss below the recent low or recent high. Okay, just to not get stopped out too soon. For example, here you can see the price respected perfectly. Here at the beginning respected, then he had a breakthrough, so this zone is no more valid. Okay, just understand I'm on 15 minutes. um, of course the power of zones is higher, uh, is more is higher as higher is the time frame. So if we move, for example, to 4 hours, let's wait. I usually use 12 or 10 as analysis window. So let's see. For example, this was perfectly respected. Here this demand zone was printed, I guess, on the wrong side. Okay. By the way, another way to look at things is default. On default, only you have only solid lines, for example. Okay, so this may be a better view, and the high and the low of the candle is shown. So this is the candle with taking consideration. So high, low, this is the full demand, for example. Okay, I want to move in the chart. Okay, here for example you see price just went near this supply. Okay, if you uncheck this, the zones will not be shown on high low but on open close. So for example this will change to open close. Okay, this is you have all of these options because a lot of traders asked me about the possibility to have a different info to be shown for order blocks. So someone likes only to have highlighted the wicks, someone the body, and so on. Okay, so this is the reason why you have all of these options, and of course you can use them and try to understand which fits you better. Okay. Now we can go and see also the breaker blocks. I don't suggest you to have activated both breaker blocks and order blocks because TradingView has a limit on the lines it can show. So eventually I suggest you add 2 times the indicator and use one to show the breaker blocks and another to show order blocks, so demand and supply order blocks. Okay, so breaker blocks is a different trading strategy because breaker block is not a place where usually you are 100% sure you will short there or you will long there. Okay, despite you have some kind of bearish and bullish order block. The order block can be used to long or to short depending on how price arrives to the from the point it arrives. So let's remove some info. So for example here the price went to go and went into the that zone, so you can short here because it arrived from the below. Okay, and then price broke up and retested, so here you can long, for example. Okay, so break again, you can short. Here you have this new breaker block, so here you long, for example, touch and you long, touch and you long. Of course, the more the touches, the less the power of the breaker block. Usually first touches are the best. So let's see, for example, this. Okay, best possible trade. Okay, and the same here. You create the block. This was a nice trade, for example, and this candle here, which of course stopped out a lot of traders. But let's go, and you, of course, I didn't mention, but you can do the same with the visualization, this breaker block. Okay, so if you want to see, now this is only an option for order blocks, so it should not change anything, if I remember well. And yes, doesn't change anything. Remember these changes. These only show the closing price, for example, of the breaker block. This is only the high low, for example. But for breaker blocks, okay, so you see the one in solid, another in dashed. Okay. Okay. Another. Let's go to another market. For example, here USD. Let's go on 15 minutes. We can't go too much in the past because TradingView has again, as I said, a limit on the lines you can draw. Okay, so for example, here you have breaker block, so price jumped on it, and on a retest it went lower, for example. Okay, again a new breaker block, price retested and went up. Breaker block, retest and went down. It was broken, retest and went up. Okay, this is how you trade. Of course, I understand you don't know where you set stop loss. You may be stopped out. Again, usually recent high is respected. So this was the high. You have a lower high here, for example. Okay. Let's check also here some. Again, you see price touched it and went up and broke down. Okay, again here price went here, touched it, went down, touched it, went down, and here you would have long. Okay, like ping pong. Okay, this is a bullish breaker block, so you here, for example, currently you would long. Let's see supply and demand here. How does it work? I restore default settings to be sure. Okay, for example here, when I say you have a limited set of lines, no more lines before this latest. Okay. Okay. So here, for example, you have uh, some good trades you can do here. So shorting this demand and longing this sorry, shorting the supply and longing this demand. So here you short, here long, short, long, short, long. Okay, here we have a consolidation clearly, so you expect a breakout. Breakout was down somehow on this. So when you see here this bullish engulfing, you see that the dump was rejected. So somehow this demand worked and the price jumped up again. So your target in this case can be this supply. Again, a consolidation. You see here another consolidation and price breakout, stopping here at this supply where you short. So this is how I suggest to use this indicator. For example, these scenarios are the best, of course. Okay. In this case, for example, here you see a rejection. Price definitely closed above. Too much candle closing in this range means that this is not anymore valid. Okay, usually you won't see a higher bar closing over the candle closes. Okay, so in this case you have too much candles, so no need to wait for a price closing above the range. Okay, just because basically this is not a technical analysis lessons, but you are having some higher high and higher low. So a new trend, high, higher high, higher lows, again higher lows and higher high. Okay, this is a bullish trend. Okay, for example, just like you have here lower low, lower low, lower high. Okay, for example. Okay, and this is for example an USD, how you can use this indicator. You have also this option how how the zones are calculated. Currently the analysis is on high low prices. You can switch to open close for analysis. You have some difference, of course. I prefer the high low basically, but you may like more this, for example. Okay, just up to you. Here, for example, again, this was respected. Um, and what? Again, this was somehow respected here in the future. Okay. We can see another market, for example, just more fast. We can see gold USD. Let's see, for example, on a different time frame, say 1 hour. Oh, okay, it works only also on 1 minute if you like. Okay, if you don't feel if you feel comfortable, it works also on 1 minute if you want to trade on 1 minute. Okay, let's reset again all the settings. Let's choose also to show the breaker block. So basically you can see that okay, when I say you are limited line, you don't see any more lines here. Is to chaos. This is now you understand why I told you to insert 2 times to show both breaker blocks and order blocks. Okay. Okay. So here, for example, long was respected, price went high, but not so high. Here, the long respected, first touch was respected, but not so much. Price went through again, consolidation, breakdown, but still consolidating. In this case, price respected here the long, here the short, long, short, long, short, long. Okay, here the price is I guess here very low volume till the breakout. Okay, you have a breakout down. Well, price, you see the price somehow respected previous breaker demand zone. Okay, when you see the new trend is established. Okay, a bear trend, so you can expect lower lows. In this case, you short the tops. I mean, you short supply zones instead of longing. You can use this demand zone for take profits. Okay. Okay. So let's show breaker blocks. Okay, here for example you have a breaker block. Breaker block is characterized by the fact that you have some big candles passing through it. Okay, and after this candle has literally passed through it, you have this kind of candles, these reactions here, which are perfect. Example, you can use it to short. Here the candle passes through, I use it here to long. Okay, pass through and use it to short. These are great strategies. I like it very much. So here, price passes through and you long here. Okay, price arrive here and you short here, which was a previous major block. Of course, you can short every time here with the after these candles, big candles that pass through it. You have a stop loss here, here for short and here for long, and you can trade, managing your risk, of course. Here, for example, you can long with this stop loss below here initially, or below here, then you can long. Here you can long. You can use other zones, other brittle blocks as a target also, for example. Okay, you see there are also these indicators that you can use also to find some confluences. For example, above all, I suggest the engulfing that matters. Okay, in this case, you see also here was suggested to long, here was suggested to short. Okay, here again you short here, so you can play confluences here long. Okay, this long does not went good, but okay, you see here that there was a reaction, not the perfect that you want to see. So this almost doji means that trend is not going probably higher. Okay, you're the same. You have directly a rejection here. In fact, you would have short all this. Okay, and this is instead a good signal in confluence. Okay. Okay. So literally this called the bottom and this too, for example. And these also great signals for the short. Okay, this is just a few example. We can turn back on the demand and supply order blocks. Let's go and trade. If you like cryptocurrencies, this is Chainlink. Of course, not on 1 minute, please, guys. Don't trade crypto on 1 minute. And for example, let's see some history. Here, the supply was respected, perfectly reaction on this zone. Okay, if we check the low and high, somehow here was respected, price didn't arrive. Okay, yet again respected. Here somehow respected too. Here again. Okay, here again, and so on. Okay, so this is so no, you can customize also this indicator. This is not a tutorial on engulfing that matters, but you can choose you can edit these settings in order to have eventually a filter. You can just change filter parameters. This is 0. Of course, you can change what you prefer. Okay. These are Pinbars, but this is not the chart which applies best to. Let's go, for example, to trade Ethereum. So you see, for example, for me, there are too much zones. Okay. So I increase the analysis window to have less zones. Okay, now it's getting better. And no pin bars. It seems here no pin bars, unless we can decrease, for example, these parameters. Okay, you see here long, 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 short, long. So you can find again here confluences, for example, and here while till it works, you are supposed always to short demand. Here you short, here you short, here you short, here you short, till it doesn't work anymore. So if you have a breakout, you know what you have to do. Doesn't work anymore, so you long here. Okay, basically. Okay, and you long here, but you were stopped out. Well, I understand, but I'm pretty sure this was also a demand in the past, but you can't see it anymore unless we increase here again, for example. Let's see. Exactly, this was a demand. Okay, and that's it. I mean, again, you have a downtrend. Okay, here you have a higher low. Okay, so here you long and expect that this may not work anymore. So first time it works, second time not. Okay, it's broken. So you would have short over there. Okay, double top, price arrives here and breaks again, and so on. Okay, this is also an indicator about volume. Volume is not always perfect, as these are a lot of options you can change. But of course, the best confluences are fine with engulfing, for example, and pin bars. Okay. Okay, guys, this tutorial, I guess it was maybe too long. I hope you appreciate it, and you can understand how to use supply and demand, how to use this indicator. Thank you so much for viewing this video. If you have any question, of course you can always write me here in TradingView chat, of course, and I can help. See you guys, bye, have a nice day.